All right, what's going on, everyone? We are back in Black Myth Wukong. We've got the 9070 XT, got it paired with the 9800 X3D, and let's just see how we are going to perform here on FSR4. Got the new 26.1.1 driver loaded up, got the override working. So yeah, we're on low settings here at 4K, and you guys really have been asking about this card more, so I'm going to try to push through it and get some more videos done, especially showing ray tracing at 4K. I think that's a pretty good stress test for this card. But yeah, here on low, of course, you know, it's nothing to be necessarily blown away by, but you are about 83 FPS here with 1% lows around 60. So let's jump over and just see what we can do with a little bit more work here. We're not doing any upscaling, no frame generation. So as you can see, we are on 4K. And we are on FSR4 and no upscaling. So the low latency mode set to auto. Once we do frame generation, it will kick that on and help our latency out a little bit. But let's just go through some of the basic settings here. Let's just go to medium. Medium is a very, very nice uptick in visual quality from low. Low is like really, really low. Medium, it starts to look like a proper game. So, you know, medium might be perfectly fine for a lot of people, especially once you throw in some ray tracing. We'll see how it goes and just find out what kind of the best visual settings would be. But right here, first thing I'm noticing so far is that we are having a really smooth frame time graph. Right now, we are about 85 FPS, and our frame time graph is just, you know, dead flat, and that's exactly what you want to see. 1% lows are in the mid 50s, so we are having a little bit of snags here and there, but nothing that I can perceive. So those are not even micro stutters. They're just, you know, being logged, you know, on a very, very quick level. So let's just jump into here. So let's see, this reflection in this puddle really looks good with some ray tracing. So let's jump over here. Once we get to ray tracing, I'll come back and check that out. So you can have kind of a comparison there. So let's jump into it and go up to high. So we got high, very high, and cinematic. High starts to look really, really good. There's nothing wrong with adjusting your settings. You know, a lot of people want to just completely max everything out and say, oh, it runs like crap. But really, you know, that's why these games have these settings, is so that you can find something that works for your hardware. All right, so yeah, we're at about 54, 49 FPS here. So right around here is where I would recommend maybe doing a light upscale. So we're going to go up to a quality upscale and see what kind of performance we get there. So let's just jump over to it and take care of that now. So let's come in here. Let's just go down to what would be a quality setting. So right here at 67%, this would be considered quality. It's still going to look really good. Quality does a really good job, you know, keeping everything nice and sharp still. The upscale is very, very small. Got some snags right there, but let's just give it a break because we did just change settings. I don't like to judge games right when I change settings. Sometimes it has to do some background processes to kind of get it all smoothed out a little bit. Let's go fight this dude up here. He's pretty tough. Let's see. He's got a lot of health. Maybe I already wiped him out. I think I did. There he is. All right. I love the animations in this game. They're so freaking good. Oh man, I am all up in the camera. Let me see here. There we go. Freeze him. There we go. All done. Nice. This game, I've always adored it. It's so good. Even for its like tiny little snags here and there, it's just such a good game. Yeah, we're at 90 FPS here. So looking really good. 88. Very, very nice performance we're getting. Of course, we're not doing any ray tracing, and we haven't gone all the way up yet, but we should have plenty of headroom to get some really nice performance out of this, especially with no ray tracing. And that's really what I want to kind of test out here anyway, is just kind of what it looks like with some of that ray tracing on. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. Let's see if we can. These guys have no hitbox until they get up, which is super annoying. All right, took care of him. These are pretty light duty over here in this forest. These like giant snake-headed things, those are the hard ones. The animations, man, in this game are just so good. Very cool. All right, yeah, you feel pretty badass when you're playing it, not gonna lie. I'm just gonna get kind of through this here. I don't really want to dwell too much on the fighting. We're just looking at how it performs. This dude's gonna be quite easy. So let's go over here and just check out a little bit more of these fidelity settings. Let's go up to cinematic. So this is the highest you can go without doing any sort of ray tracing. And let's see how it performs before we do any kind of additional upscaling. So it looks like you might need to go to balanced here, which isn't bad. Balance is pretty good. Man, he did not dodge like I wanted to do. Okay, yes, there we go. Yeah, we're looking like 51, 52, somewhere around there. So let's go up a little bit more on our upscaling. We're just kind of like, as we go along, seeing what it takes to keep the frames high enough. So right around here is where I would probably go to balanced. Still not quite enough. This is a really intensive area, though. This forest tends to have a lot of, you know, it's a lot of vegetation and whatnot. So let's go ahead and freeze him. Cloud step him. There we go. Very nice. You get some really cool. You get some really cool move sets as you play this game. It's really fun. But yeah, we are looking like about 59 right here. So that force is a little bit harder to run, but let's go ahead and go over to some performance because we're going to have to do that anyway once we drop into the ray tracing and kind of see how that goes. So that's going to get us up to about 64 FPS here at 4K. So let's go ahead and, you know, just kind of set our expectations that we're going to have to probably drop some of these settings back down a little bit once we do turn on that ray tracing, but let's work our way back through it. So now we kind of established that cinematic on 4K, you know, doing a performance upscale gives you around 60. Now this area, I don't want to judge it too harshly on this area right here because, you know, you are having a really smooth frame time graph, which is really nice. There are some other cards I've tried in the past that were not this smooth, that's for sure. Not a lot of hang-ups, that's good. But you're around, you know, 60s here. But once you come out of it, of course, you're going to go up. So, you know, don't judge this area too harshly. I would rather play a game where it's, you know, performs pretty well most of the time and just kind of put up with the rough spots than set everything based on what a, you know, occasional rough spot might feel like. So I think that right here is a perfectly good spot to check out some of that ray tracing. And it's going to ask me to do a restart. So I'm going to do that. And then, of course, I'll be right back and we'll cover more of it. So let's go down to low and apply that. So once I do the restart, we'll jump back in. All right, so here we are with that very first level of ray tracing enabled, and we are dropped way down, which sucks. We're at 35 FPS here. But what I want to do is kind of set things back up a little bit more and work our way up from there. So let me take care of this fox dude. The dudes are pretty simple. All right, yes, so took care of him. Let's come over here and see about dropping into our main settings and seeing what it takes to kind of get this back up a little bit. So we kind of established that medium looks okay. So let's kind of see what medium looks like with that first level of ray tracing and just find a good balance here. All right, so that gives us a nice boost up to about 52 FPS. The ray tracing in this title does look really good, especially on the very high setting. But yeah, 4K, it is proving to be quite difficult for this card to, you know, kind of keep up. But let's just keep trying and, you know, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, we're at 52 here. So if we go up any more, of course, it's going to really hurt our performance a good bit. But, you know, let's see what we can do with some of these different toggles we can pull. So let's see here. If we go up to mediums, this is all medium. Now, full ray tracing, medium looks really, really good. There's nothing wrong with medium. It gives you all the, you know, kind of standard things that you come to expect with ray tracing. So to be at 51 on medium settings with medium ray tracing, that's not terrible, especially for what we're kind of the resolution we're at. But, you know, with some frame generation, this might begin to feel pretty good, especially with that anti-lag that will enable once we turn on the frame generation. So right here, I'm going to say we're probably going to have to start using some of that frame gen to push it a little bit further. But for now, it always hangs up on that light, no matter what GPU. That is just something with the game. But yeah, right over here, we're at 5548. So let's come over here and just go up one more on our kind of, you know, main level here. So this will be high with medium ray tracing. All right, so now we're going to jump back into it. So this is just high with medium ray tracing. We're about 43 FPS. And, you know, again, this is really good looking. You don't have to completely max this whole thing out to get a very beautiful image here. Going to give the 1% lows some time to kind of catch back up and, you know, get logged in. So once we get that kind of established, we'll jump to that next setting. I just want to give it some time to collect some frames. All right, so there we go. It's starting to do it now. So 1% low is about 26 or so. I kind of promised you some water, so here's some water. So we'll check that out. So, you know, the reflections and whatnot do look really good. At 41 FPS on a game like this, some frame generation wouldn't be bad. You can definitely get away with some frame gen here. So I'm going to jump into the rest of the test with some frame generation enabled, just because you're probably going to have to use it anyway. We might explore it without it, but, you know, of course, we don't really need to exhaust it too much if it's, you know, might risk crashing the game. Right here, though, frame generation set to auto is our option, or off, which sucks. I would rather it just be on or off, but frame generation should kick in here. And we'll see where we're at. So yeah, we are at 71 FPS. I don't have any way to measure latency. The AMD overlay just doesn't work, which sucks. But you know, if anyone has any ideas how to get it to work, I've scoured the internet to try to figure out how to make this thing show latency, and I can't get it to work. But yeah, I can just kind of tell you, this game is typically played on a controller. That's how I would play it, and it feels exceptionally good. It feels fine. There's nothing to worry about latency-wise here. Because mainly your 1% lows and your actual FPS are pretty damn close, and that's usually pretty indicative that, you know, you're not having any sort of really bad latency issues. So we're fine. Latency, no big deal. Frame generation is doing some pretty nice work for us here. So it's going to let us go up. All right, so let's go up on our ray tracing. I just want to see what it does with very high enabled, and then of course we'll start trying to crank it up a little bit more on the rest of it. So it looks like very high might be out of reach, because right here we are at 47 FPS with frame generation on, and the latency, I can really feel it now, even on a controller. It doesn't feel great. So I would probably say that very high ray tracing is kind of out for this card at this resolution. Just doesn't feel very good. So I would say that, you know, going to a medium ray tracing is fine. There is no high. It's just low, medium, very high, which is weird, but that's what they named it. With some frame generation, and you should be okay. So let's jump back down a little bit on our ray tracing. Let's bring that back in. All right, and then go up to very high. So this is going to look really good. I mean, you're basically one tick down from max on everything. So this is going to look good if we can get some good frames out of it. So right here, with frame generation, now this is with frame generation, so keep that in mind. Let's just get a 1% low so we can kind of see what our, you know, real frames are looking like. But frame generation gets you comfortably above 60. And your 1% lows are comfortably around 60. So this feels really good. So very high with medium ray tracing. This ain't a bad way to play. It looks exceptionally good. And I don't know if you've seen any of my other ones. It always hangs up right there. That's just the game. I don't know if you've seen any of my other videos, but typically when I do play this game, cinematic to me is very much diminishing returns. It doesn't look that much better than what I'm playing right here. It just kind of gives it this like mystical fog kind of smeary effect, which, you know, to each their own. I like very high. I think very high looks the best. I think it's the most crisp setting. But let's go up to that next level. So we're going to leave it on medium because, you know, very high is just out of question, out of the, you know, we just can't do it. So right here, we're just going to go up and see where we're at. So with that frame generation on, this keeps us right around 60. Now, this is a little bit of a stuttery area, so don't judge it too harshly in this area. Let me get out here around the scaffolding. It tends to run a little bit smoother. So with that frame generation on, you're at 76, 75 FPS, and your 1% lows are comfortably at 60. I mean, you know, this is look. Oh, I hate when I do that. Yes, this is right around 64 FPS. 1% lows are nice. 0.1% lows around 46 or so. Average is just below 80. Of course, that's taken into account everything that we've done so far. So it's probably more like 60. But right here, I would probably play it just like this if I wanted the absolute max quality that I could get. And of course, ray tracing is going to look super good anyway. I'm trying to get over here to this puddle just so I can kind of like give you guys one good look at, yeah, I think it's over here. One good look at the lighting and ray tracing. So the only thing it leaves out is transparency, so you don't get that depth to the water. But really, other than that, you're not really giving up anything else. You still have nice reflections. Everything still looks really beautiful as far as like the atmosphere goes. Your shadows are dark, your lights are light. Everything pops really well with that ray tracing enabled on medium. So right here is a really good way to play it, I think. So what I want to do next is go ahead and explore one more setting just to like really round this test out and give you guys like a really good idea what you could do. I'm going to leave ray tracing on medium, but I'm going to bring this back down to high, and I'm going to give it a little bit more upscaling to the point of 38, I believe is right where usually it will tell me. There it goes. Usually it will tell me. I believe 38, not 36, is right around kind of where I've noticed that it works really well at. So these are some performance settings, I guess. And this gives you a really nice visual quality on top of, you know, about 72 FPS here. And you don't have to put up with really anything other than just playing the game. And this is another way that I would probably recommend playing it. You don't have the level of detail that you normally would have. There's that puddle over here I promised to show you guys. You don't have the level of detail, but the game, you know, it's all about trade-off to me. It runs a little bit smoother. This game still has a little bit of hangs and stuff, but see, I mean, even with medium, you still get a really nice, visual quality there. So that's going to wrap it up. If you like this, please drop down there, give me a comment. I like to jump down there and talk to you guys, and subscribe if you haven't. And we'll see you in the very next video. Peace.